Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Power is a lifelong pursuit for many men, and Dorgon, the 14th son of Nurhaci and brother of Huang Taiji, was no exception. In his early years, he was deeply obsessed with power. Especially after the death of Huang Taiji. With his outstanding military achievements, Dorgon became the most promising candidate to inherit the throne. However, unexpectedly, after careful consideration, Dorgon, who wielded significant power, willingly allowed the 6-year-old Shunzhi to ascend the throne and chose to fully support him instead. Rumors, especially from modern historical dramas, suggested that Dorgon made this decision because he had fallen in love with Shunzhi's mother, Empress Dowager Cixi, and therefore gave up his claim to the throne to focus on assisting Shunzhi. But the truth is far from that. As a man who had fought countless battles and pursued power for a long time, it was impossible for Dorgon to abandon the opportunity to become emperor for the sake of a woman. His decision to forego the throne was due to the political situation at the time, which no longer allowed him to pursue the throne, and he didn't even dare to attempt it. According to historians, in the mid to late Qing Dynasty, succession to the throne usually followed the principle of the crown prince succeeding the emperor. The emperor would select the most outstanding son as the crown prince, who would naturally become the next emperor after the emperor's death. However, in the early Qing dynasty, this system was not yet fully established. At that time, the successor to the throne did not necessarily have to be the emperor's son. It could also be an internal military leader. As long as the person was exceptionally capable and could lead the tribe to prosperity, they could be recognized as the heir to the throne. From this perspective, Dorgon did have the qualifications to inherit the throne. He had defeated the Mongol Chahar forces, conquered Lin Dan Khan, and had an illustrious military record. Few could rival him. Additionally, his noble status as the 14th son of Nurhaci gave him pure imperial lineage, with great military achievements and noble blood. Dorgon would have undoubtedly inherited the throne if not for the presence of Huj. However, Huj's strength was equal to that of Dorgon. Huj, the biological son of Huang Taiji, also had imperial lineage, and his military achievements were no less than Dorgon's. Huj had followed Huang Taiji into battle since childhood, witnessing countless battlefields and growing into a formidable warrior. He had led numerous assaults on the battlefield, subjugated rebellious Mongol tribes, and fought against Ming dynasty forces, emerging victorious. Therefore, in terms of military merits, both men were evenly matched. Although Dorgon was Huj's uncle, their age difference was small, and their strength was comparable. Faced with such a formidable opponent, the ambitious Huj was naturally unwilling to let Dorgon inherit the throne. Thus, Huj became Dorgon's biggest obstacle in the battle for the throne. During the election meeting, both men showcased their talents, vying for the support of others. Many were impressed by their abilities, but it was difficult to choose between them, causing the meeting to reach a deadlock. Huj, stationed outside the meeting, brought in a large force, intending to resolve the issue through military means. Dorgon, not to be outdone, also brought his loyal troops. The two sides were on the verge of armed conflict, and it seemed that a bloody battle could erupt at any moment. At this critical juncture, the appearance of a key figure helped to defuse the tense situation. That person was Prince Jirgalang. Jirgalang, the nephew of Nurhaci, had been raised by Nurhaci since childhood and was close to his children, especially Huang Taiji, with whom he shared a brotherly bond. Now, with Huang Taiji gone, Jirgalang, like a respected elder, stood before the furious Huj, calming him significantly. His arrival had two purposes: to prevent conflict and to express his views on the succession. Jirgalang believed that the tribe's strength and development relied on unity and a shared sense of purpose. Huj, with his innate bravery and fearsome reputation, had expanded the tribe's territory through his illustrious military achievements. Similarly, when Huang Taiji was alive, Dorgon and Huj had worked together to defeat countless enemies, making the tribe prosperous and strong. Now that Huang Taiji had passed, the enemies had a chance to breathe. If the two great generals were to engage in an internal struggle for power, it would undoubtedly weaken the tribe's unity. Jirgalang reminded them that if civil war broke out, regardless of who won, Dorgon or Huj, the victor would be greatly weakened. At that point, enemies might seize the opportunity to attack, putting Huang Taiji's hard-earned empire in grave danger. Jirgalang's words made everyone nod in agreement. But they all understood that after the death of Huang Taiji, someone had to inherit the throne. So, someone asked him, who exactly is the most suitable to inherit the throne? Jirgalang replied that the throne should be inherited by 6-year-old Shunzhi. This statement left many feeling puzzled. In fact, some wise individuals had already discerned Jirgalang's true intentions. No matter whether Dorgon or Huj ascended to the throne, the other would feel discontent and might not give their full effort in future battles. This would clearly be detrimental to the unity and development of the tribe. It would be better to choose a third party to succeed the throne. Over time, the two might set aside their differences and join forces to serve the Qing Dynasty. Choosing Shunzhi not only resolved the dispute between Dorgon and Huj but also promoted the unity between the Manchu and the Mongols. Shunzhi's mother, Empress Dowager Cixi, came from the Borjigit clan of the Mongols, making Shunzhi of Mongolian descent. If Shunzhi became emperor, the Mongol nobility and tribes would naturally support Manchu rule. Through this marital alliance, not only could peace between the tribes be maintained, but the Mongolian power could also be harnessed to eventually unify China. As early as Nurhasai's reign, he had recognized the strong combat prowess of the Mongols. Instead of continuing warfare, he chose to make alliances through marriage, turning foes into friends. Thus, the Manchus began offering gold, silver, and livestock as bride prices to marry the daughters of Mongol nobles, creating numerous successful unions. For example, Huang Taiji's two concubines, Cixi and Helanzu, were both daughters of Mongol nobles. Helanzu once gave birth to a son, but unfortunately, he died young. Cixi had 3 children, but they were all daughters. Thus, as the only son with Mongolian blood, Shunzhi became the most suitable heir to the throne. It was this heritage that unexpectedly made the 6-year-old Shunzhi the emperor. From Dorgon's perspective, he indeed desired to be emperor, but he faced a formidable opponent, Huj. Both men had achieved outstanding military accomplishments and held noble status, each hoping to win the throne. However, in the midst of their dispute, Prince Jirgalang's sudden intervention changed the situation. Although Jirgalang couldn't compete for the throne himself, he had grown up alongside Huang Taiji, and their relationship was like that of brothers. Clearly, his stance was to support one of Huang Taiji's sons for the throne. Even if he didn't support Huj, he would choose another son of Huang Taiji to back. Huj commanded a strong army, and his power was evenly matched with Dorgon's. Meanwhile, Jirgalang enjoyed immense prestige within the tribe. If these two joined forces, Dorgon would be hard-pressed to compete. Moreover, Jirgalang's suggestion was not without merit. At that time, the Qing's strength was far from what it would later become. If internal strife broke out at that moment, the conquest of China might become nothing more than an empty dream. Given the situation, although Dorgon deeply desired the throne, he dared not act against the broader consensus. If he insisted on fighting for the throne, not only would he offend the powerful Huj and the highly respected Jirgalang, but he would also anger many Mongol tribes. In such a scenario, not only would his dream of becoming emperor shatter, but his very life could be at risk. To preserve his power and avoid infamy, Dorgon ultimately chose to support the 6-year-old Shunzhi as the heir. This is the real reason he did not dare to claim the throne at the time. As for the portrayal in TV dramas that Dorgon gave up the throne out of love for Shunzhi's mother, Daiyuer, it is purely fictional, created by directors to boost ratings. It strays far from historical truth. For Dorgon, power was the ultimate pursuit of his life. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.